Okay, how's it going? I'm just going to go through the Android box, finally getting around to doing the video for you guys here. I'm going to go through some of the basics. Later on in the video, get into the more advanced stuff. If you look down at the bottom in the description, I'll have some timer, like some chapter markers, so you can go right to certain sections or whatever. From your main screen, though, we're going to start off just by going to your settings. And then in your settings, you're going to set up your internet. And you're going to set up either Wi-Fi or Ethernet if you're actually, in fact, with Ethernet hardwired. So just go ahead and connect to that. And then you're going to go over to the next section here, which is display. You're going to turn off HDMI auto detection. Once you turn that off, you're going to go down to the HDMI output mode setting and change that from 720 to 1080 if you have a 1080 TV, which most people will these days. So just click on the OK button and that'll set it up. And we're going to go to display position. And what this does is it fits your screen to your TV. So if you hit the down button, it's going to shrink the screen and you're going to see some black bars around the outside. Basically, your screen's too small. So at this point, we're going to hit the up button. And what this do is it'll stretch your screen to fit. Once you no longer see the black around the outside, just hit the OK button and then hit your back button once. The next section is your advanced. I just kind of skimmed through it here, but there's nothing we really need to go over. I don't touch any of this stuff. I really don't advise anybody playing around with it anyhow. If you do it at your own accord. And then my screen's a little bright, so I can't actually even see what this next menu is to the right here, but just go over to the right one and go to more settings. This is where you're going to set your basic settings for your Android box itself. We'll get into Kodi in a little bit here, but right now I'm just in the Bluetooth section, and I notice mine's enabled. I don't use Bluetooth with the box, so I'm just going to click on that little blue button at the top there, and that will switch it over to disabled. So you'll see in a minute here that my Bluetooth will disable. And then I just hit the back button once. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go down to the apps. And what this does is allows you to install, or uninstall any programs or channels that are in here. This is any Android apps. So I mean, if you wanted to, you could download some Android games from the Google Play Store or anything like that. Use it more than just Kodi if you want to. So just go down to apps here. And you'll notice some stuff I have installed here that I don't really need. For example, Skype and Twitter and stuff like that. I don't really need that on my box. Not taking up a lot of room, but just showing you how to uninstall. If you just click OK on it, go over to uninstall and click OK. And now Skype is now uninstalled. So you can do that for other ones like Twitter, Vivo, whatever you like. And to get out of here, again, just always hit your back button to exit out of a menu to go back one. I'm recording this after, so I can't remember. Yeah, I didn't uninstall anything else. So I'm hitting the back button, hit the back button again, or you can actually hit your home button at this point, and we're just going to go back to the main Kodi page. So in here you have some different things for music and some My Apps. So if you install anything from Google Play Store, for example, this is where it's going to show up. So I just go through a little bit here to see what's in here, but you guys can all kind of view this for yourself anyhow. I got highlighted the mirror cast, but I haven't got it to work. Basically, you can cast the screen from your phone onto your TV. I think it only works with the HTC phones though, so unless you have an HTC phone, it's highly likely that it's going to work for you. And what it'll do here now is on the bottom here, your quick links for all your stuff with the Google Chrome and Kodi and stuff. If you click on the plus button here, what this will do is add any of the quick links you want, or take them off even for that matter. So now if you notice here, my screen's a little bright. I'll probably fix the adjustment on a bit later here. But if it doesn't have a check mark, it's not going to be in your quick links. For example, here, Play Store has a check mark. I'm now going to remove the check mark from it. And if I hit the back button, you'll notice now that the Google Play is no longer on my quick links. So that's the gist of the Android box itself. As I say, play around the Google Play Store if you want, download some games for the kids, whatever. You can use it as an Android as well, but I highly recommend not using too much just for the simple fact you don't want to fill up your box. It could, decrease the performance of the Kodi itself. So again, I'm doing the voiceover afterwards. I'm not sure why I went to the web here, but we'll get into Kodi in a second here. And again, as I say, if you look down at the bottom in the description, you're going to notice that the description of the YouTube video itself I'm talking about, but you'll notice I'll have some times marked out so that you can go quickly to Genesis, Phoenix, how to add channels, repos, or change your default channels and stuff. So right here I'm just showing you this little menu at the bottom here. You can actually view any of the apps you have open. For some reason, some of the boxes I can't get that menu to come up. But if you have a bunch of apps open and you're not quite sure, this little trash can here, what this does is it will actually kill any of the apps that are open in the background. Gives you a fresh slate so that when you go to run Kodi, you'll have the maximum amount of memory to run the app. And you'll notice now I click on that little square box there. Those familiar with Android will know what that is, but anyhow, you'll notice that I've killed all the apps and there's nothing running now. I'm not even sure how to get that menu to come up because on mine it works, but others it doesn't. So I don't really use it a whole lot. I was just showing it because it's there. So now we'll get into Kodi a bit here. And as I say, a lot of the stuff is basics. Most of you guys have already seen this, or some of you might have some new boxes that haven't seen how to use it. So I'll give you a quick rundown here. You have all your video music programs and system along here. So what you're going to do is, this is a little advanced right now, but if you go to System and File Manager, if you download a repo or repository, it's called, and you have to add a source, which basically is a link to some channels. This is where you'll add the source. So if you Google and it tells you to add a repo or whatever, it'll explain how to get here, but I'm just showing you right now. We're going to exit out here in a little bit. And back again here to System. Now we're in the settings. You'll have add-ons, appearance, and stuff like that. We're going to get into more advanced stuff with that later. So down at the bottom here, you have your 5 main channels. In the settings, we were just in there under System here and Settings. Under Appearance here, there's a skin. And by changing the settings on this skin, we can change those default 5 channels there. So if you use a certain channel more often than others, you can go ahead and change this, no problem. So there's the 5 default ones. Again, this is advanced stuff. Well, what I consider a little bit advanced, but we'll get into it a little bit later. Sorry about that. So just hit the back button if you're ever in a menu you're not sure how to get out. Just keep hitting the back button, which is the right button just above OK, I believe. I have a different remote, so I'm not 100% sure on that. This here's some programs that come installed. For the most part, you're not really ever going to use this. If you want to wipe your box completely, though, you can look up the config wizard on the top right here. That's an app that basically sets up those 5 default channels and everything. So if you want to start fresh and just wipe out all your channels and do a fresh install for your box, that's basically what that is. Not really going to get into it here. You guys can Google it and learn what config wizard is later if you like. But so right now I'm just viewing all the programs that are available in the Get More. I'm going to get back to that anyhow in the video section, so don't be too concerned with what you just seen there. Just doing a quick run through of everything here and kind of see what's there and what's available. So these are some radio stations, and if you click on the Get More button, again, it's just going to show you all the possible music channels in this section that are available. So for example, Pandora. Some people have Pandora. It's a music streaming service. You can actually load that on here and log in with your account. Same thing with the videos and add-ons here. These basically, you have your 5 main channels. The video add-ons will give you some more channels that are installed. So you see here, these are all the channels that are actually installed right now by default. And if you click on the Get More button there, we'll get to that in a second here. So again, those are installed channels that are already installed. And when you click on Get More, you'll notice there's all these channels here. These are all the available channels that are available on the box. There's hundreds or 1,000, whatever it is. I'm just going to show you how to install a channel if there's one you particularly want to find, and whether they work or not. It's free TV. I can't really say they work or not. People pay for this servers to have this stuff. So try it out. If you don't, if it's not working, then you can just uninstall it. But so if you want to add a channel, though, I'm just going to look for a channel here. I believe I'm looking for the GoPro channel because I know I don't have that installed. There's tons on here, as I say. I mean, you can find lots of channels, but go through them if you want. You click OK, though, and click on Install, and you'll notice that it's now downloading the channel. And now it says enabled beside GoPro. So now if I go up to the top here, you'll notice that there's a GoPro channel is now available. So it's now installed. So again, the Get More just shows all the available channels. Install whatever you want, and they'll show up here in the installed channels list. Near the end of the video, I'll show you how you can change it so that your 5 main channels here, these ones here, you can actually pick any of those channels that you've installed in your defaults. So now we're in Genesis here. You got your movies, TV shows. Not sure quite what I'm clicking on here. Just going back through the video again. So this is just showing you different ways of finding movies. You can click on the new movies based by year. So these are all the ones that were released basically 2015, 2016, near the end of the year. Some of them, because they have a box, doesn't mean it's a playable link. For example, The Big Short. That's actually out at the theater right now. So even though it's there may not be any links to it. At the time of doing this video, Genesis was actually updating. So there's not a lot of resources or streams available to me at the time. So we'll get into Phoenix a little bit later, but it's January 2016 right now. As far as I can tell right now, it seems that Phoenix seems to be running much better, way faster, more access to high def movies. So it auto plays as well, but I'll get into that a little bit later. As you see, it's taken quite a while to load. And you see there, I forget what I clicked on there, but it said no streams available. So that means the link's not there. Now I'm clicking on the Creed movie. And in a minute here, you'll see a list of streams that are available. With Genesis, you actually have to pick your stream. You might see an autoplay button, but I find it really inconsistent. I wouldn't even bother with it. It's just some hints for movies. G Video and All My Videos. Those are one of the more stable runs that I've used so far anyhow. You can play around with whatever ones you want, but we'll show you that in just a second here. Or maybe a minute. Okay, see here, this movie here, there's only one available. Usually there's a lot more. I've actually played this movie already. There's been a ton of them. There's usually about 20 or 30 streams here. I think they're updating this links and everything because there was only one available, but you'll see here that it's playing. Now, you'll see this little play bar at the bottom of the screen here. It's now gone away. If you want to bring it back up again, all you have to do is just hit your OK button, and it brings it back up, and you have your access to your controls. So you can click on the stop, fast forward, pause, whatever you like. There's some extra features here, like you can adjust your screen so that you can zoom in or out of the movie with this feature. Just make sure you set it back though, because the next movie you play might not fit. So I'm just going to hit the stop button here. And hit the back button here. We'll go back one menu. And go back menu again. So just click on the 2015 movies. And if you notice, there's a blue bar around Mad Max. Basically, that's the movie I just selected here. I'm trying to bring it up so I can show you some more streams, how it normally looks. As you see, notice the last movie, The Creed, there only had one available. it's running pretty slow on Genesis here, so I've noticed a little bit of a decrease in the movies here for some reason lately, but it's pretty good for TV shows. Phoenix not so much. So I'm kind of playing around with Phoenix for movies. But if you notice here, you got your 1080, HD is 720, HQ and MQ and LQ is all your high, medium, and low quality. They're usually just a standard definition, but they're okay quality. They're watchable. So I'm just going to check here. See at the number 9 and 10 there is all my videos. Those are one of the more stable releases. So even though it is medium quality, sometimes I'll just default to that anyhow and watch it. But I'm going to try the movie first, see if we can't get this to play in 1080. Let's say the MQ's medium quality. It's pretty good quality, but if you can get 1080, you might as well watch it in 1080. And if you notice on the bottom left, it usually says in the bottom right, so it'll say work. In the bottom left, will have a play button. So you'll see here that this movie just tries to buffer and buffer, and even when I hit the play button here in a second, it's not going to play. I always saw it like my internet was kind of crappy, but I have a feeling it's just slow servers coming from Genesis right now. I usually don't have this much problem. Usually I can, wait for a minute or two, play a movie, and it'll play right through. But as I say, right now, I believe Genesis is more than likely updating their servers because before testing all this, I was having some issues with not having a whole bunch of streams available like this here. But Genesis is good. I have been using it for since I've had my box. TV shows, if you like TV shows and series, Genesis is the way to go. Phoenix right now, you click on a movie and it plays instantly, no buffering or anything like that, so a lot more stable. But unfortunately, there's not many TV shows on it. Now I'm just trying to see. I'm not sure quite what I clicked on here, but you'll see in the bottom right it says working. And I think I tried to play it again. Oh yeah, see, I picked a SD version here. This is the all my videos link. So it's a little choppy, but playing them a little bit better. So if you have problems with a 1080 and it's not buffering or not playing or whatever, you can actually pick the medium quality or whatever, and you might have better luck with it playing. This movie here you usually can play 1080 though. So I'm trying not to babble too much, but I mean, I don't want to try to fill some dead space too. I don't want you guys listening to dead air most of the time. Kind of understand what's going on. So in here, the TV shows, you can go through networks, for example. If there's something on like A&E or Discovery or ABC or something, this is the easiest way to find TV shows, I find. Or you can actually just go right to search if you're looking for a particular one. So you notice here it has all 15 seasons of another 48 hours or another 48, and there's all your different episodes. Or the first 48, this is called, sorry. Everything is pretty bright on my screen right now while I'm doing the voiceover on this. It's kind of hard to see and read things, so. Now, if you want to add a favorite here, I'm just going to come over to one here. For example, this Beyond Scared Straight. If you want to watch this TV show and you want to save it to your favorites, and then you won't have to go back and do a search for it anymore. Same goes for movies too. You can add favorites, but if you click on the right above your OK button to the left is 3 lines. It's a sub menu button. If you click on that and then go to add to favorites, you'll see now that I've added the favorites of Beyond Scared Straight. Now I'll show you in a second here how to find that. So I'm hitting the back button a couple times till I get to the main screen and click on My Genesis. And you'll see favorite movies. So these are some movies that I did in the past. Basically just hit that drop down menu button, click add to favorites, and you'll see here you can actually mark it as watched, which I'm doing here. Or you can take it off your favorites altogether if you have already seen it. So same thing for TV shows though, you can add favorites of TV shows. So I'll go over here to my favorite TV shows. And there's a bunch of the ones that I've already added, but you'll notice here there's a Beyond Scared Street. So I added the favorites and now I can access it here. This is on the main Genesis page under My Genesis, and you'll see favorite TV or favorite movies. So I'm just going to hit the back button here, or you can hit that up arrow. And you see there where I'm highlighting My Genesis. So that's pretty much the gist of Genesis. There's not a lot to it. It's pretty basic. And say it has been a good program channel, but as of lately, it seems to be degrading and with the buffering and stuff like that. So I think in a second here, we're just going to get into some Phoenix. Oh no, am I clicking on it? Oh, so I'm showing you the favorites again here. Okay, so what I've done here is, sorry, I kind of skipped over it, but if you see in the bottom left here where it's highlighted blue, you can actually add channels. So I'm just going to take this one off here for a second. I didn't actually skip through, but just trying to figure out what I was doing here. So anyhow, with this favorites here, you can actually add channels to your favorites. In order to do it, it has to be one of your installed channels. So for example, under videos and add-ons, we'll see in a second here all the channels that we installed. If you remember, we installed the GoPro channel, for example. So go to video and add-ons. And then if you want to add a channel to your favorites, for example, GoPro, just hit that drop-down button, which is to the left of your OK button, and go to Add to Favorites. Now, instead of going into video add-ons, I'll show you in a second here, just going to hit the back button and get back out to the main screen. Okay, so see if you go to video and add-ons, will be your installed channels. Now, if you go to the bottom left, to that little favorites button, you'll see now I have my GoPro channel here installed. So you can have quick links here from your main page and just access your channels from here instead of going to your main 5 at the bottom or going to video and add-ons. So you can add any of these to your favorites. So if you want like Sports Devil or even Genesis for that matter, you can go to Add to Favorites. I'm hitting the drop down button again. And if you go down to your blue, or where the blue button is there, the favorites, and you'll see Phoenix now installed. So you can access it couple different ways. You can change these 5 here, we'll show you that later, but instead of going to Phoenix there, you could actually put 5 other channels there and use the quick links where that little star is. Hate talking into a mic, so it's probably going to sound annoying, but it's a price you pay if you want to learn how to use it. So I'm in Phoenix right now. This Woody channel here is a new channel. It's been out for about a week or 2, I guess, from what I've been reading. It's got a lot of live TV on it, HBO. It's got some live sports on it. You can go to like I'll show you in a minute here, but under live sports you can go to the Canada US, and you'll be able to get some live hockey games. You can click on these other channels here. Some of them have different things, like the one has like some drama movies. The other one here has cartoons. Rock Crusher on the bottom, or the middle bottom, or middle left. I'll go back to it in a second. Not sure actually which one I clicked onto here. I think I might have just, I just clicked on one of these other channels. I missed which one it was. But you just go through and it'll show you some of the channels. This one's got some international channels. I'm going to hit the back button though and get out of here. Go back here. I'm at the Woody channel right now. So you see under entertainment and live sports and that. So under USA and Canada sports will be your live hockey games and that. This one here I clicked on is actually some college or something. I'm not sure, but it's hockey nonetheless. Oh, it's the AHL. There it is there. So you get some of the American Hockey League games and that, or WHL. So I'm just going to click on one here and show you that the stream plays, and quality is actually pretty decent on it. And I never had any buffering issues when I was watching it. Just tested it out real quick. I just literally played with this Woody channel for a couple minutes, tested a few. So you click the OK button, bring up your little access bar there and hit the stop button. And I'm just hitting the back button here. So there's your USA Canada Sports, your entertainment. This is where you get your live TV. So you can go USA TV or Canada, whatever you want. The USA TV has the best options, I find. Right now I'm in the Fine TV. It's got some European channels and stuff. So like I can't remember if this had, no, this didn't have the CNN, but some channels are working, some aren't. I tested a few here. It's a fairly new channel, so whether the streams are coming on, I'm not sure. But check a channel here. Oh, HBO. Yeah, you can check HBO live here. So there's your HBO streaming live. So there's two HBO channels. So I'm not sure if HBO 2 worked or not. I didn't really test it, but again, bring up your bar. You can click on the OK button. And just go ahead and stop that. You'll notice it says SD there. So it's not high def, it's only standard def, but being that it's a live stream of a TV channel, you probably don't want anything better, higher than a standard. It'd probably be pretty choppy or buffering and stuff. So, but go around, play around with this channel, guys. It's pretty cool actually. Something new I just stumbled on, and those fans of Game of Thrones and that will like the fact that you can get live HBO, so you don't have to wait and watch it recorded later. When I was doing this video here, there was no hockey games on for the NHL, so I didn't really click on the American hockey. So I'm just going into the Rock Crusher channel right now. And I'm just going to check out like a quick link here, some rock concerts. They've actually got some pretty neat concerts, documentaries and whatnot, but I'm just going to click on 2015 HD here. And you'll see it's a little bit different. It's a list instead of icons. But you can see to the right there shows the box. So I'm just going to click on Ant-Man here, and you'll notice it starts playing right away. There's no picking servers or streams or anything like that. You'll notice in the bar there it says that it's a 1080. It's only 2.0, so it's not quite 5.1 surround or anything, but it is 1080p, so it's high def video. And if you ever want to get rid of this bar, just hit the back button one time and it'll go away. And so just exit out of there now. You can do a search here. This keeps track of your searches. So if you type in, I believe chipmunk, yeah, I did chipmunks here just for the kids or whatever, right? So you can search for adult stuff or whatever you like, but it will keep track of every search that you do. So you just go ahead and type in chipmunks here and click OK. I noticed on Genesis that there is a newer Chipmunks movie, and I noticed it's not available here. Not a big deal. I'm not really going to watch Chipmunks, but so again, you just basically click on it and it'll automatically play, or it's going to tell you that no stream's available. So you can clear your history there, but it will keep track of them. So any searches you ever do, you can actually go back. Say you want to watch Chipmunks later, you can go back into the search if you want. Just click on Chipmunks from there. So before I talked about add favorites in Genesis. So what you can do is with Phoenix, you can add favorites channels here as well. So I believe I'm going to do it here in a second. But the same thing, when you hit that drop down box, that little submenu button, and there'll be the same option here is to add to favorites. So I'm just going to click on the drop down right now, which is that button to the left of your OK button. Go to add to favorites, click OK. Now if I exit out of here and go back to my main Kodi page and go down to that little star here, which is your favorites button down the bottom left there. I'm just showing you basically in Genesis you have to go into my Genesis and favorites. So anyhow, just go back to the star on the main screen, click on that, and you'll notice now that HBO is listed on my quick links. So again, this is much easier than going into Phoenix, going to Rock Crusher, or Woody, sorry, and find an HBO under Woody. Now I've got a direct link right to HBO. I don't have to go searching for it or anything like that. So that's one nice thing about Phoenix is you don't have to actually go to Phoenix to access your favorites. It actually puts it on your main favorites for Kodi. So this is another reason why I might switch to Phoenix as well, just because pretty easy doing it that way. It simplifies things huge. So now I'm not sure, just give me a second here while I click on some things. I'm not sure what I'm clicking on here. Let's say I'm just doing voiceover later on. Okay, so here's your current movies, screeners. You'll notice it says it's 720, so you're only going to get 720. But you'll notice too is current movies, it's not always a 2015 or 2016 movie. They do put some older movies up here, so people can request movies and have them put up here. You basically have to go into some message forums and request this kind of stuff, but I'm not getting in any of that. I don't bother. I just watch whatever they offer me. I'm not quite sure what's going on here just yet. Just bear with me a second here. I just did this video all in one shot. Instead of doing different chapters and breaking it up, it just take way too long to edit. Okay, so what I've done here is the same thing. I've added the new HD movies as a channel. So you can kind of rewind the video a little bit and go back and see how I did that. But I just did it again just to reiterate to you guys how the Phoenix works with the favorites button. So you can do it to individual channels and even the different categories. As I say, in this case, the new HD or 2015 or whatever you like, or documentaries. So, but that's, I kind of like that feature on Phoenix. It makes it super easy to access everything. So I think we'll get into a little bit of the advanced stuff here. Basically, if I have a couple, or well, one, maybe two repos on here, I usually use what's called Fusion. So if you go into System and File Manager, you'll see here I have Fusion installed. Another one I installed that you guys can follow along if you want is called Super Repo. So if you click on Add Source, this is basically a link to some more channels. It's kind of more advanced, but I mean, read up on repos. These Fusion and Super Repo are the two I use. But just type in exactly what you'll see here. Just tell you in a second here when it's complete, but just make sure you copy it exactly the same way I do here with the http://srp.nu. Just kind of pause it for a sec if you want and type that in. And then when you're finished, just go ahead and click the Done button. So I left it up here for a little bit just to give you guys some time to read it and type it in. That probably gave you a little too much time, but so just go ahead and go down to Done. And now you want to give it a name. You can call this whatever you want. Just for this purpose, I'm just going to call it Super Repo. And then just click the Done button. Go to OK. And now you'll notice you have Fusion and you have Super Repo. Now, in order to activate Super Repo and install the channels that it offers, they're called repositories. Super Repo is the main repository, and inside that are some others. But we're going to go to System, go over to Settings now, go to Add-ons, and now we're going to actually install this Super Repo repository. And if you get a menu like this, you'll probably have, like, because I did the search through channels earlier, I'm not in the right menu, so hit the back button until you see this page, not this one, but this one here. You'll see where it says install from zip, my add-ons, install from repository. Go down to install from zip file. And what it'll do is in a minute here is it'll want us to select where we want to install. Well, we want to install the super repo that we just put the link for. Isengard is the latest version. Jarvis is still in beta, but we want to use Isengard. So just go ahead and click on the Isengard. And we're going to install everything, so just click on all. And click on the OK on the repository. You'll notice on the bottom right it'll say repository now enabled, or add-on enabled. And in the top right, you'll see it's going to have a little bar up there and it's checking all the updates. Chances are for probably a minute or two, your box is going to do like crazy updates for a bit. And it's just going through all the channels that's offered by Super Repo. And it'll update any of the channels that haven't been updated yet. So these are just what repositories are there. So there's Super Repo. The rest of them are installed with that Fusion. So you can go into your video add-ons, but you don't really need to go into this. I'm just kind of showing it to you. If you want to get into some more advanced stuff, read up on this stuff. And that's basically all the channels available from Super Repo, which if you recall back earlier in the video, click on video add-ons and get more. You'll have this same list here. So this is just a different way to access it to install it. To install the channels. So that's about it for installing the repositories and basically adding the repo channels. So now what we'll do is in a little bit here I'll go into changing your default channels. Right now you'll see like these are all your installed channels. So any of these ones you've installed you'll be able to change. I'm just showing you all the add-ons again. So now that Super Repo is installed, there will be some more channels in here available. Not like you're going to be able to read this or anything, but just showing where to find them again. But so now let's say we'll get into changing our 5 main channels. With Phoenix, as I say, I'd much rather do add the favorites inside Phoenix and go directly to the channel. The quick link using that little star button on the main page. So just hit the back button and you see the little blue or your favorites on the bottom left there. I'd much rather set everything up that way, but so right now what we're going to do is oh, I'm in the wrong screen here. So we're going to go to System and go to Settings and go to Add-ons. Or actually, no, you're not actually going to go to Add-ons. You're actually going to go up to Appearance. And what we're doing is we're going to change our skin. Not the skin itself, but the look of it. This whole thing, like you'll see the moon and all that in the background, that's all your part of your skin. So I'm going to get rid of a couple of these channels here. You can set them to whatever you like. Install more channels if you want, put them on there. So it goes back here to your, went a little quick, but basically go to System and Settings, and then Appearance. Go to Skins, and then hit over to the right, and go down to Settings. And I'll get there in a second. Just show the skin name there is called Confluence. I would recommend just leaving that, don't ever change it. Click on the settings there, and you'll be brought up to another menu. And you'll have your general, home, and background. I wouldn't bother changing anything here, but if you go to add-on shortcuts on the bottom, under video you'll see your 5 main channels. So to change one, all you do is just click on it, or hit the OK button to click on something. And all those installed channels you have, you can now change them and put whatever you want. So let's change one of them to GoPro. Or maybe I'm changing it to something. Oh yeah, actually I wanted Phoenix as my second one because I use it more. GoPro I don't really watch, I just kind of installed it, but for the sake of the video I wanted Genesis and Phoenix as my 2 main channels. Just go ahead and click on any of these and change them. I'm going to just go ahead and change the last three here for you in a minute. So C Cloud is pretty good for some sports stuff. They have a BT Sports 2, which if you guys watch the UFC fights, they actually have the UFC fights in HD. If you need to find like what channel the fights are on, stuff like that, you can actually just do a search for Kodi and then UFC fights, and it'll tell you which channel, in this case C Cloud, and it'll tell you what link it's under. So for example, the BT Sports 2, and it'll tell you what time it's on, whatever. But usually Google you'll be able to find what you're looking for. If not, shoot me a text or whatever. I can look it up for you if you give me enough notice or whatever. So I'm just going to change my last quick link here for my channels. I have a hard time finding a channel to put on there because I don't really use them. I only really ever use Genesis or Phoenix at this point. DI Network, I don't even think that channel even works anymore. But I'm just hitting the back button here to go back to my main page. And you'll notice now that I have my 5 custom channels set up. So that's about all there is to the box. Sorry about the lengthy video, but you know, hopefully you guys will learn something from it. As I say, I went through the basics just because there are people that haven't used the box before, not quite sure what they're looking at. So that'll give them a little quick rundown on it. Maybe you'll learn something from it that you know, you weren't aware of before. So hopefully it answers a bunch of your questions. Any other questions, just let me know, guys. You can also at the bottom of the YouTube channel there, again, go through, you can see the different times for each chapter that I got on here. So you can skip through the video to whatever section you want to read up on or watch about. If you have a YouTube account, if you could even just click on the like video if you like it. If you don't like it, well, click on the like anyway. Just might help me out. Probably not, but you know, we'll try it anyhow. So that's about it. Wraps it up. Again, any other questions, just let me know. Shoot me an email if you're looking for anything, and try and help you out as much as I can. If there's something else you need, maybe I can do another video on it. I'll try not to ramble as much, or you know, make it a little more professional. So take care.